What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix's new limited series, Somos. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you would like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. Just a heads up, the true story behind this limited series is very harrowing and heartbreaking. It's based on actual events when the blunders of the United States DEA led to the 2011 Allende massacre, where the cartels murdered more than possibly 300 people there. And so harrowing and heartbreaking are the entire tone of this show, especially with us already knowing what's about to take place in the final episode. It's a tough watch, I'm not gonna lie. And if you're not into shows like Narcos and others like it, then this may not be your cup of tea. Somos is a crime drama that goes for that grim, gritty realism. So much so that even when the violence is not happening, tension and animosity and conflict remain humming from start to finish. Perhaps this is something that could have been told in just a 90-minute movie, for example, but I understand and respect the show wanting to take its time to get the audiences to familiarize themselves with the victims whose lives and struggles were already poignant even before their untimely demise. These 6 episodes overwhelm me with deep sadness. Inspired by journalist Ginger Thompson's Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative ProPublica article, Somos imaginatively recreates the stories of the people of the small town of Allende, Mexico, in the days leading up to a shocking massacre. Created by James Shamus and co-written by Monica Revilla and Fernando Melchor, Somos tells the story of the drug wars from the victim's perspective, giving voice to those whose lives were changed forever when, without forewarning, their town was struck by a tragedy triggered by a DEA operation gone wrong. I've never been to Mexico, but it seems like it's a very bittersweet place there. Depending on the region, depending on the location, and their socio-economic status. I've heard brutal stories about the recent nationwide election that was happening there, of how the cartels beheaded some of the voting poll workers. They even cold-bloodedly murdered some of the candidates. I'm sure it's a beautiful country, but one that unfortunately continues to be driven by fear because of these many criminal groups that have political officials in their pockets. And much of that is depicted on this show. The small town Allende being desolate and poverty-stricken, plus the lack of jobs opportunity, forces many to join the cartels whether or not they actually want to do so. In the first 5 episodes leading up to the massacre, the show lets you in on several characters living separate lives. Some of them intertwine, some of them do not. It's a big cast ensemble drama, but one thing they all have in common is that the future is bleak for them. Even the ranchers who seem well off struggle to keep afloat. Those problems get compounded by the personal dilemmas within their own respective families. This show also doesn't shy away from highlighting the institutional corruption, not just the law enforcement, but even the prison system, to the point where the actual good guys are not able to intervene even if they try. Watching these characters desperate to get out from under the thumb of their situation is soul-crushing and emotionally devastating. The political undertone is very obvious, especially its criticism of the power-hungry DEA agents who couldn't care less about the civilians caught in the crossfire of their tunnel vision war on drugs. Allende is now part of the statistics, a spot of major human rights violation, a story that is sadly not uncommon. For all intents and purposes, Somos is a heavy, gripping emotional drama that commemorates Allende residents whose lives were cut short to no fault of their own.